We are baking bets and we are making money. And golly, did we make some money for UFC Nashville. I told you guys Derek Lewis was going to knock out Teixeira. I told you Teixeira gets hit, and that's exactly what happened. Derek Lewis stoned him very early in the first round. I told you about Jake Matthews going to get an upset win against Chitty, bang, bang, and that's Jukwani. And he did. He did. Jake Matthews subbed him very early, round one. We did have 2 incorrect picks. I told you guys I'm averaging only 2 incorrect picks per show over the last 6 shows, and we did get 2 wrong. But even in those 2 wrong, I felt good about them. You know what I mean? You ever feel good about a loss? I felt good about those losses. Because I said, if Junior Tafa couldn't wrestle, he was going to lose that fight. I thought he was going to be able to wrestle. He couldn't really defend a takedown, and once he was on the ground, he got gassed out, and blah, 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 blah. We lost that one. Right? And then with the Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Walter Walker, I said, the only thing that scares me about Walker is his ability to do heel hooks, especially because Kennedy has such long legs. His legs are so long. And unfortunately, that's what happened, right? I should have went with my brains, right? I went with my heart. I like Kennedy as a fighter. I like him as a human. I think he's a good guy. So I went with my heart a little bit. I should have went with my head because I had that in the back of my head. I thought Walker could submit him with the heel hook. But like I said, cash in on a couple dogs. We cashed our parlay. Who cares about the losses? We're going to focus on the big wins. We're 10-2, UFC Nashville. We're still in search of that perfect card. So I have no better time than right now, UFC 318. We're going to get our perfect card today. We're going to get it together. You and I. We're going to make this happen. Let's make some money. First fight of the night, we got Cari Judice at minus 275 going against Nicole Kalinari. Yeah, I think Judice is good. A lot of people are really hyped on her as a prospect. I don't think she's as good as people are hyping her up, but I do think that she's going to get the win in this one, right? I think she's favored for a reason, but I wouldn't touch it. I think this is a low-level female mixed martial arts fight, and I have a rule about low-level heavyweight fights, the same rule I have about low-level female mixed martial arts. Don't touch it. Stay away. Steer clear of low-level heavyweights and low-level female mixed martial arts, because sometimes it's a crapshoot, right? Like, you never know what you're going to get. Kalinari is a good grappler. She has a lot of submissions on her record, but I just don't know if she's going to be able to handle the stand-up of Judice. So, gun to my head, I'm going to go with Judice, but at the end of the day, I would not touch this one with a 10-foot pole. After that, we got the Hulk, Bruno Feda versus Jackson McVey. Jackson McVey is making his UFC debut on short notice. So you know what that tells me? Tells me Hulk smash. I think that Feda's going to knock him out. I wouldn't even be afraid to sprinkle that in as a little extra prop bet of Feda winning by knockout. But I think Bruno really wins this fight. Jackson McVey, if he survives round 1, maybe he has a shot because Hulk does gas out. Hulk no do cardio. But I do think that Feda gets the job done. I think he finishes him very early. Like I said, when you're coming in short notice, making your debut against a guy who just wants to take your head off with every single punch, not a great setup. Not a great start. So let's go with Bruno Feda minus 800. Superman Ryan Spann versus Lucas Bruski. This is going to sound a lot like the first fight of the night, but this is a low-level heavyweight fight. Do not touch it. Do not bet on it. But again, we're here to make picks. I have to make a pick. I think both guys are chinny, but I do think Ryan Spann has more tools in his arsenal to win this fight. I think that he's way more athletic. Bruski was jacked up at one point, but that was also because he was on everything. He is a drug cheat, so I hope Ryan Spann knocks him clean out. I think that this is going to be Bruski's last UFC fight. He's been knocked out in his last couple fights. He does hold a win over Walter Walker, but other than that, it's just been him getting knocked out nonstop in the UFC, and I think Ryan Spann adds to that. Ryan Spann does have power. He's vicious. So I'm going to go with Ryan Spann. I wouldn't even put a prop on it. Let's just say Ryan Spann minus 235. Now we got Jimmy Croo versus Marchin Pachchio. I think that Jimmy Croo wins this one. Jimmy Croo has not had a win since 2020. I feel bad for the guy. I want him to win. I bet on him his last fight. He ended up drawing. And I thought he won that fight. I really did. He's had 3 losses and 2 draws over his last 5 fights. I thought he was a guy that had a lot of potential at one point in his career. But I think he might have hit his ceiling. I don't think that matters in this fight, though. I think that he is so much better of a wrestler than Pachchio. Pachchio is not a good grappler. Great stand-up. Like, there's a chance that Pachchio catches Croo and knocks him out cold. Like, I'm not saying that's not a possibility. But I really think that Croo is going to out-wrestle him. I think he's going to grind on him. I think that he's going to win a very ugly kind of dogfight, and he's going to get back on track. Like I said, I don't think he's going to be the prospect I thought he was going to be early in his career, but I do see him being very competitive against some good guys, because I do think Croo has so much experience at such a young age. Like, I don't even think the guy, he might be 30 years old, but he's been in the UFC forever. Yeah, he's 29 years old, and he's been in the UFC forever. I think that he's going to have enough fight IQ to understand, like, okay, I'm going to need to take down Pachchio. Pachchio's not a good grappler. I'm going to take him down, beat him up. So we're going to go Jimmy Croo minus 255. Got Adam Fugette versus Islam Dolattov. Fugette's pressure is the only thing that really scares me in this fight, but I think Dolattov just has so much talent, right? He's a good grappler. He's a good striker. I think that this is going to end up being a showcase for Dolattov. Like, other than the pressure and perhaps gassing out, I don't see many ways for Adam Fugette to even get the win here, right? Like, you're going to have to wear on him and maybe get a finish in the third round, but I do think it's going to be one of those things where if Dolattov doesn't finish him early, he's going to be up so big in rounds 1 and 2, maybe get a 10-8 round in there, that he could either coast to a decision or get a KO, TKO in this fight. So we're going to go with Nikolai Dolattov at minus 600. Next up, we got Atiba Gautierre versus Robert Valentine. So I like Gautierre a lot. He did gas a little bit in his last fight, but he's 23 years old, and he has unbelievable power. I don't think Valentine's going to be the guy that's really going to push him to the point where he gasses out again. I don't think Valentine is, on his level. Yes, I don't love Gautierre's gas tank, but I do like him as a fighter a lot. He's minus 600 in this one, so I would either take him on a parlay or I would maybe add in by knockout, because I do feel like he's going to knock this guy out. So our official pick's going to be Atiba Gautierre minus 600, but like I said, don't be afraid to put a prop on for Gautierre to get it by knockout. Let's go over to the welterweight division. Francisco Prado versus Nikolai Valentinov. I don't know. This could be a recency bias thing. I just don't think Prado's good. And I think him going up to welterweight is a bad move. I usually like when guys go up in weight because they're not draining themselves with a weight cut. But I didn't think Prado was a big 55er. Now he's a really small 70-pounder. Valentinov, I don't think he has a UFC win yet. Yeah, he does not have a UFC win yet, but I feel like he's going to get it done in this one. He's going to be much bigger than Prado. I think he's going to be able to stop the wrestling of Prado, and Prado is just so aggressive, and he throws caution in the wind too much, where I think Nikolai could kind of stay back, pick his shots, and then eventually either hit the big one or, just outpoint him for 3 rounds. So I'm going to go with Nikolai in this one, but I don't know. I this is more a pick against Prado than a pick for Nikolai. So I really wouldn't touch it, but again, we're here to make picks. Give me the underdog, Nikolai Valentinov plus 125. So this fight is going to be very similar to the next fight in terms of I don't have a great feel on it, right? I don't have a great look on this because Allen at minus 220 against Vettori might be a little too much, right? Allen's an unbelievable grappler, but I don't see him taking Vettori down. Vettori is very good at anti-wrestling. He's very strong, and he has a crazy chin. Vettori's chin is legendary at this point. But I'm going to lean with Allen, right? Again, we're here to make picks. We got to make picks. I'm going to lean with Allen because I feel like even if he can't take him down, he's going to outpoint him. He's going to stay away, use his length. He's really long, really tall. And I think at the end of the day, Vettori's best attributes are his cardio and his durability, which, like, you don't want that to be your best attributes as a fighter, right? Because that means you're always getting pushed late in fights and that you're getting hit, right? Because you don't find out a guy has durability unless he gets hit. So I feel like Vettori's best attributes are cardio and durability, where Allen's best attributes are his wrestling, his grappling, his ability to kind of maintain distance until he doesn't want to maintain distance. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go with Brandon Allen because I just feel like his attributes, his strengths are offensive as opposed to absorbing damage or being able to go deep into a fight. So I'm going to go with Allen minus 220, but again, I don't really love this fight either way. Now, out of all the fights on this card, I probably done the most research on this one, and already the odds have changed 4 times in the 3 days that I've been looking at footage and ideas for this fight, because I think it's a toss-up. I think this one, the odds should be a little bit closer. We got Vinicius Oliveira versus Kyler Phillips. Oliveira's minus 170, Phillips plus 140, but there's been times where Oliveira's been plus 190, plus 180, and then there was, minus 190, minus 180, and then I seen him minus 160 at some places. So this line's all over the place, and I think it's because a lot of people don't know how to pick this fight. I'm going to go with Oliveira. I'm going to go with the young guy. I mean, even though he does have a lot more fights, I feel like he's much newer to the UFC audience than Kyler Phillips is. But they are around the same actual age. I picked against Oliveira in his last couple fights because of his debut. I didn't think he looked good against his debut. And then when he went against Ricky Simón, he looked unbelievable. When he beat Said Nurmagomedov, yeah, he got taken down and controlled a little bit, but nothing was done with that the takedown time, right? And then he was able to kind of outpace him in Saudi Arabia, where it's notoriously hot in those arenas. So I do think Oliveira's a dog, and I've never seen a guy so happy to go into a fight. So I'm going to go with Oliveira. He's more active. He's huge for the bantamweight class. I think that he has enough tools to get it done against Kyler Phillips, even though I love Kyler Phillips. I wouldn't touch this one gambling-wise, but again, we're here to make picks. Let's go with Vinicius Oliveira at minus 170. We got my boy, the menace, Michael Johnson, plus 360 against Daniel Zellhuber, minus 525. I love Michael Johnson. I love him. And I kind of like the subtle troll job that the UFC did by putting Michael Johnson on this card. If you know, you know. I feel like this is a setup. This is a bad matchup for our boy Michael Johnson. I think that Zellhuber he's the younger, hungrier fighter. Michael Johnson's on a little win streak, but he's not fighting guys as good as Zellhuber, right? So I think that Zellhuber is so long, so tall, and Michael Johnson has been cracked before. He's been knocked out before. I think that Zellhuber is going to keep him far away until he wants to land that knockout blow, and then Michael Johnson, unfortunately, is going to sleep. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope I'm wrong on this pick. But we're going to go with Daniel Zellhuber, minus 525. Sorry, Michael Johnson. I'm so sorry. Then we got Dan 50K Ige against Patricio Pitbull. I think Pitbull just came over to the UFC too late, right? He looked really bad against Yair. A lot of the Bellator guys that have come over have not looked good. And he just the Bellator guys that are coming over, they just don't throw enough volume. They don't throw enough activity. And that's where I think Dan Ige is going to drown Pitbull. I think Dan Ige is going to put a pace on him. I think he's going to stay in his face the whole time, tire him out. Dan, again, is a very good anti-wrestler, so I don't think Pitbull's grappling is going to come into play. And Pitbull does just want to throw bombs, but he's just trying to set up that one bomb. Dan Ige is going to hit you with 4 punches before he hits you with that one bomb. So I think that over time, even though Dan sometimes is a slow starter, I think over time he's going to break Pitbull, maybe get a late stoppage. That wouldn't surprise me. But the odds are actually really good for us, so I'm going to go Dan Ige minus 186. My guy, Kevin Trailblazer Holland, going against Daniel Rodriguez. I love Kevin Holland. He's probably on my top 5 favorite fighters of all time list. I have a lot of favorite fighters on this fight. I'm really excited for this card. But even though I do love Kevin Holland, and I have been beating the drum that I think he's a legit contender at 170, I've been saying that for a long time. I think with his ability to grapple, people don't understand how good Kevin Holland is at grappling. People don't get it, right? His striking, his length, his athleticism. I think at 170 he could be an actual problem for people. But with all that being said, I hate taking him at minus 400 because he is inconsistent at times. D-Rod's look so bad. D-Rod has not looked great in a long time. And even his last couple wins, I don't think he's looked that good, right? Even sometimes in victory, you feel defeated because he beat Santiago Ponzinibbio very late in the third round, and that was a back-and-forth fight, and then he beat Alex Morono on a split decision. I mean, you can't be going against guys like that and barely surviving and then step up to Kevin Holland. I think Kevin Holland is probably going to knock him out if I had to make a bet on it, but I'm not going to put it by KO just because Kevin Holland, sometimes someone tries to desperately grab his legs, he's going to darce you. He's going to choke you out. He has long arms. It's very easy for him to choke people out in a bunch of different angles. So we're going to take Kevin Holland minus 400. Please don't be inconsistent. Please keep making me look smart because I do think you are a legit contender at 170. Give me the Trailblazer. Give me Big Mouth. We got Roman Kopylov versus Paulo Costa. And I hate to say this, right? You look at both guys. You look at Costa. He looks like a juggernaut. You look at Roman Kopylov and you see his highlight knockouts. This is going to be a boring fight for a lot of it. For a lot of this fight, it's probably going to be boring. These guys don't throw a lot of output. It's going to be one of those fights that everyone's going to share the clip because there's going to be a clip from this fight. There's going to be either someone's getting rocked, someone's getting knocked out, and everyone's going to be like, oh, that fight must have been a banger. It's going to be that one highlight. I feel like this isn't going to be one of those fights that is a barn burner. Roman's very similar. Like I said, Costa doesn't throw a lot. Neither does Roman. But I think that the kicks of Roman are going to be the difference. He's a little bit more willing to throw kicks. Costa never uses his grappling, which Roman hasn't really either, right? So I feel like this is going to be a lot of the guys staring at each other, and it's going to be very boring until it's not boring, and it's going to get really exciting really fast. So we're going to take the favorite. We're going to go with Roman Kopylov, minus 280. I don't love the line. I don't love the fight itself, but we're here to make picks. Give me Roman Kopylov, minus 280. It's main event time. It's main event time. We got Max Blessed Holloway. Legitimately, my favorite fighter of all time, going against Dustin Poirier in his retirement fight. Holloway's minus 122, Dustin Poirier minus 104. This is a toss-up. This is a pick'em. And that's the reason the lines look like that. And I think actually breaking down the fight, this is a pick'em. I really don't know how it's going to go. But I'm super biased. I don't like Dustin Poirier. I think he's a sore loser. I never seen a guy more angry after winning a fight than Dustin Poirier. He always seems like he has something to whine about afterwards. I think he's had an incredible career. I'm very happy that he got this cool send-off, this cool retirement. But I'm going to go with Max Holloway. I think that he took a good break after getting knocked out in his last fight. And Dustin's an emotional guy. That's always been his thing, right? Like the reason he lost to Conor the first time was he was emotional. This is his hometown. This is his retirement. It's probably going to be the biggest fight of his life. And I don't know if he shows up. I don't know if maybe the moment gets too big for him, if it gets in his head. So I'm going to go with Max Holloway because there's no moment too big for him. Hell, he beat Aldo in Rio, right? If you beat Aldo in Rio, you could beat Dustin in New Orleans. So I think Holloway finally gets his win over Dustin. He's 0-2 against him in his career. I think he finally gets his win. He sends him out on retirement. And I'm going to go with Dana White's thought process. If you're already thinking about retirement, it's time to retire. So I think that Dustin, I'm sure he put everything into his last camp, but I'm going to go with the Blessed Express. We're going to go with Max Holloway all day, every day, twice on Saturday. And there it is. UFC 318. Like I explained in the breakdown, I'm not the biggest Dustin Poirier fan, but I think it's really cool what the UFC is doing. They pretty much put this whole pay-per-view together for Dustin Poirier, and he's not like a guy who's had the success like John Jones or GSP or Anderson Silva, right? He's never been an undisputed champ. But this guy put on so many wars for the company. He's so well respected by the fighters, by the fans. So I do think this is really cool that the UFC put on this event in his home state, in his hometown, to give him the proper retirement. So hats off to the UFC. But we're not here to give hats off to the UFC. We're not here to grant Dustin Poirier the greatest retirement. We're here to make money. We're here to make scratch. So that's what we're going to do. Let's run back the Bacon Bets Parlay. We hit it last week. We hit it last week with Chris Curtis, Vitor Petrino, and Morgan Charrier. So we're going to hit it again this week. But this time, we're going to go with the Hulk, Bruno Feda minus 600. We're going to go with Dan 50K Ige minus 186. And we're going to go with Kevin Trailblazer Holland minus 400. That's going to be the Bacon Bets parlay out of all the fights. Those three are the ones I'm the most confident in. I feel really good about putting those three together. We're going to get plus 123 odds on that. So you're going to get your money back and then some. So let's make some money. Let's do it well. Let's make sure we all have a great time doing it. We're building up a great community here. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. If you know anyone who likes gambling, you know anyone who likes UFC, please share the page to them. We're trying to build this up. I just want to make people money. I'm doing this for fun at this point, right? This is a new hobby I'm picking up. I hope you guys like this show. I hope you guys like the channel. Please, again, get the word out. I want this to grow as fast as possible and as big as possible. So I appreciate you guys. I hope we make some money. UFC 318. Let's go for that perfect card. I want it. You want it. The world wants it. Perfect card. It's coming. I feel it. I feel it in my bones.
Money talk.